The Verdani had never seen anything like it. Their long-range sensors detected the anomaly first. 347 vessels emerging from slip space in perfect formation, each one bristling with weapons that could crack a moon in half. The fleet hung in the void like a steel constellation, silent and terrifying in its precision. Council Elder Thessa's secondary heart seized in her chest as she watched the tactical display. "This cannot be," she whispered, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with fear. "We saved one of them. Just one." 6 cycles ago, a human exploration vessel had suffered catastrophic engine failure near the Verdani homeworld of Kessia Prime. The ship, little more than a research craft with a crew of 1, had been tumbling toward the planet's crushing gravity well when Verdani rescue ships intercepted it. They had pulled the human from certain death, treated her injuries, and even repaired her damaged vessel with their own resources. The human, Dr. Sarah Chen, had been grateful. She had smiled with that peculiar expression humans made when pleased, learned basic Verdani greeting customs, and shared stories of her species over communal meals. When she departed 3 weeks later, she had clasped Thessa's foreclaw in her small hands and spoken words the translator rendered as, "I will never forget this kindness. Neither will my people." Thessa had thought it merely sentiment, a polite farewell. She had been catastrophically wrong. Now, as the human fleet maintained its position just beyond Kessia Prime's orbital defense range, Thessa understood that humanity measured debts differently than the Verdani. The communications array crackled to life and a human face appeared on the main view screen. He wore a dark uniform decorated with incomprehensible symbols and carried himself with the bearing of a predator species that had clawed its way to the top of their world's food chain. "This is Fleet Admiral Marcus Webb of the United Earth Coalition," the human said, his voice carrying an edge that made Thessa's spines bristle. "We understand the Kravix Dominion has issued an ultimatum to your people. We're here to discuss alternative options." Thessa's confusion must have shown because the Admiral's expression softened slightly. "Dr. Chen told us everything, Elder Thessa. How your people saved her without hesitation, even though it depleted your emergency medical supplies. How you shared food when your own world faces shortages. How you treated a stranger as one of your own." He leaned forward. Humanity does not forget its friends. The truth crashed over Thessa like a tidal wave. Yes, the Kravix had delivered their ultimatum just days ago. Their massive war fleet was en route, demanding the Verdani surrender their mineral-rich moons or face extinction. The Verdani had no military to speak of, their species having abandoned warfare 3,000 years prior in favor of philosophy and art. They had been preparing evacuation ships, hoping to save their children at least. They had told no one of their plight. How could humans possibly know? "Dr. Chen has many friends in our intelligence services," Admiral Webb explained as if reading her thoughts. "When she reported your situation, it took exactly 14 hours for the Coalition Senate to authorize military intervention. It took another 72 hours to assemble this fleet and reach your system." His eyes, those strange forward-facing predator eyes, hardened. "The Kravix fleet will arrive in approximately 6 hours. We'll be ready. But why?" Thessa's voice cracked, her translator struggling with her emotional state. "We are not your allies. We have no treaty. We saved one life. You saved a human life," Webb interrupted quietly. "That's all that matters to us. Throughout our history, we've been tribal, territorial, and too often divided. But there's one thing that unifies every human from Earth to our furthest colonies. We protect our own and we never forget those who help us." He paused. "The Verdani helped one of ours when you had nothing to gain and everything to lose. Humanity has come to return the favor." The Kravix arrived on schedule, their fleet of 80 warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel with weapons already charging. They had conquered 17 systems in the past decade. Their reputation built on overwhelming force and brutal efficiency. Their commander, Warlord Kresh, had personally overseen the subjugation of 6 civilized worlds. He had never faced humanity. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 11 minutes. Human ships moved with a speed and coordination that seemed to violate physics itself, their weapons cutting through Kravix shields like plasma through atmosphere. The humans didn't just fight. They fought with a focused fury that spoke of practice, of a species that had spent millennia perfecting the art of war, even as they reached for the stars. When it was over, the Kravix fleet was crippled, their ships drifting hulks leaking atmosphere. Not destroyed, the humans had been precise, almost surgical. They had disabled, not annihilated. Admiral Webb's face appeared on every screen across Cassia Prime. The Kravix will not trouble you again. We've transmitted the engagement data to every spacefaring civilization within 200 light-years. Let it be known, those who threaten friends of humanity will answer to all of humanity. As the human fleet prepared to depart, Thessa stood on her observation platform, watching those magnificent deadly ships move through the void. Dr. Chen's vessel, the small research craft, appeared on a close approach vector. The human woman's face appeared on Thessa's personal communicator. "Thank you," Chen said simply, "for saving me, for showing me that kindness exists in this universe." Thessa's patterns shifted to the colors of deep gratitude and profound confusion. "We did what any decent being would do." "Exactly," Chen replied, smiling. "And so did we." As the human fleet vanished into slipspace, Thessa finally understood. Humanity had not come because they expected reciprocation. They had not come seeking advantage or tribute. They had come because to them the equation was simple. You helped one of us, so all of us will help you. In saving one human, the Verdani had gained the friendship of a species that measured loyalty not in treaties or trade agreements, but in blood and sacrifice. They had learned what countless others across the galaxy would soon discover. Humanity never forgets its friends, and it will move heaven, earth, and every star between to protect them.